What's up, guys? It's Pillow King. Yeah, I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. The first thing I wanted to do is make a top 5 things, to help you win in Yu-Gi-Oh! So the first thing, it's gonna be really learn the meta. So learn what you really think you're gonna be playing against. For example, right now we have Tri-Brigade, Drytron. There's a lot of stuff you can play against right now, and they're all pretty good decks. So you want to be ready for all of them. So you want to learn really how Tri-Brigade operates, Drytron operates. You want to learn Prank Kids, all that good stuff. I'm not saying, learn the deck completely, but you want to know, you want to learn the choke points of the deck, like maybe ashing the Nerval so they can't search. That's pretty good too. You maybe want to ash the Bear Bloom, things like that. There's a lot of stuff you want to learn, and I feel like learning the meta is the first step to really learning how to be better as a player. And you want to do this consistently too. You want to do it every time we have a meta shift, because Yu-Gi-Oh, we change pretty rapidly. There's a lot of times when we could be doing like literally a good example was when I was younger, DDDs were meta for a week and then they just dropped off. I still learned how to play against them just in case, but they didn't stay. But that really just shows like how quick the game can change. One thing and the next thing really, if you don't know a card, read it. Always do not skip over it. Do not ask your opponent what it does. If you have the ability to read the card, remote duels, it's a little weird. I always recommend downloading the Neuron app. If you're doing the remote duels, it's pretty good. It lets you look up any card, and that's the one Konami really wants you to use, so you're able to do that. But always read your cards. It doesn't. If you don't know it, read it, because you never know. There could be one little effect that maybe your opponent forgot to mention, and now you lost because you didn't know that. So you always want to go ahead and do that. Me personally, if I don't know something, I'm reading everything. I don't care. And people will get upset that you're reading all their cards. A lot of the time it's because they're trying to just power through. Sometimes it does make the game last a little bit longer, but that knowledge, especially for later down the line, if you don't know, is always going to be a lot better. That's why I always tell people, if you don't know anything, just read it. Don't ask your opponent. Just ask, hey, can I pick up your card? Or ask them, hey, can you turn the card around? Please, I would like you to show me it so I can read it. I want to know what this card does. There shouldn't be an issue with me wanting to read it. Next thing, it's you gotta side deck properly. Properly side decking, there's a lot of aspects that go into it. For one, this is a big thing, and not a lot of people really realize it, especially when you're just getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! Side decking is a little weird. So for me personally, you want to side deck for what you think you're gonna play against. So if you go to locals, let's just say every Wednesday, like what the decks are going to be played. So there's like 3 Tri-Brigade players, like 2 Drytron players, and that's really like a lot of what you're going to see. You really want to start siding for Tri-Brigade and Drytron. You don't want to put cards in maybe for like Altergeist. Like there's not a lot of back row decks, so don't put cards in like Harpy's Feather Duster, things like that. Just things that won't really affect those other decks. Lightning Storm and Duster are pretty good against Tri-Brigade, but there's better cards. But effectively, you wanna make your side deck to what you believe you're gonna lose against. That is how I build my side deck every time. The only time I don't is when I want to do it generically. Generically only applies to really diverse metas. For example, the Remote Duel Invitational thing is coming up the September 19th. That's going to be a lot. In my prediction, it's going to be mostly Tri-Brigade. So my deck is going to be built to really be Tri-Brigade. I have stuff for decks like Drytron and things like that. But for the most part, my side deck will be made so I don't lose against Tri-Brigade. And that's the kind of mindset you want to do. And also getting into side decking as well, you need to, when you side deck, you want to side deck out properly. So say for example you lose game 1 and you play a deck that wants to go first. So usually what you're going to do is you want to side deck cards that are better going first. For example, maybe you side Imperial Order, Anti-Spell, Fragrance. You want to put those in going first rather than having them still in going second, because those cards do not help you going second. You want cards that help you going first. When you're side decking out, you usually want to take out non-searchable 3-ofs as your first thing, or even the 1-ofs. Like for example, I'm playing the Alistair deck right now. I take out Terraforming, I take out Prosperity, things like that, especially going second against a deck like Drytron, because I know that I'm not even going to get the chance to activate those Prosperity, those Terraforming. They're just going to negate it. So I want cards that stop them from playing. I want to put in hand traps, I want to put in board breaking cards, things like that. And you want to get into that habit, because proper side decking will usually win you the game. I'm not going to say it's going to win you every game, but proper side decking will definitely give you that edge against your opponent that you really need, especially if you think you're lacking in results. The next thing, and this is pretty basic, positive attitude. I've seen so many people just lose because they get tilted. For example, they misplay like me and then forget to put in a scythe with your sanctums. And I get tilted. I won't lie, but I've learned like to for it to be better, and keeping a positive attitude, especially in a really like big event. For example, like in national events, you're usually seeing like 10 to 12 rounds. You need to keep that positive attitude going through that entire thing, because it could ruin the rest of your day, and it could prevent you from topping. And you never know, you could have won that nationals, but you got upset that you misplayed one game, and now you're all the way in tier 5 or table 500. My bad. But yeah, positive attitude, and that applies to everything when you're playing against people that are really good. Even when you're out of the game just walking around with your friends, you want to try to keep positive attitude during the whole event. And that's what I always tell people. For me, positive attitude means everything, because I don't want to ruin my own day because I forgot to activate like a terraforming or something, just something stupid. This is the last one, but practice. Practice, practice, practice. You want to practice the deck that you want to play with, obviously. You don't want to go into a tournament with a deck that you have little to no knowledge of. Not a lot of people can really do that. And that's a big thing that people seem to forget. They see this deck, it's like, oh, it's really fun. It looks really cool, and you see other people doing really well, but then you pick it up and you don't get the same result. You wonder why. And I'm sure most of those people have already practiced with that deck a lot. So I always recommend, you want to do remote duels if you have the cards in real life. You want to go to your locals if you can. If there's not a locals, you can go to Dueling Book or do the remote duels. We're getting Master Duels really soon, and I hope that's going to be really fun. But yeah, Dueling Book is a free tool to use as of right now. I probably going to be switching over to Master Duels. I will be, actually. But you want to just practice the decks you have as much as you can, and if you can, get a group of friends going. So maybe like once or twice a week, if you're free and you're all free, go ahead and meet them, talk to them, hang out with them, practice some duels a bit, get some insight on your deck. Maybe having these people, there could give you a different perspective. Like I have a friend, his name is Willie, insanely good. He always tells me when I mess up, and that's a big one for me. I like to know when I'm messing up. But yeah. That's about it. That's all I have for now. If you guys do like this kind of videos, I do want to make more of these, because these are the kind of things that I wish that I had when I was growing up, seeing Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers, because a lot of the times you would just see like pack openings, and really just like people would be showing off their collection. It wasn't really that fun. I'm not there just for deck profiles. I want to try to make diverse content, and that's something that's been a little rough for me recently, which is why I have been uploading. But I do have a lot of stuff I'm working on right now, so I should be getting back to uploading a couple times a week. If you guys do like this, or if you guys disagree, or if you guys want to add anything, go ahead and put in the comment section down below. As always, leave a like. If you guys are subscribed, thank you. If you're not, subscribe, and I'll love you forever. And I'll also be joining with someone to do remote duel competitions, so you guys can actually have an online locals now. For those of you who maybe are too young to drive, or just there isn't a locals near you, it's going to be definitely worth it. But yeah, see ya.